Hi, Finding Healthy Tribe. It's Kelly here, functional medicine certified health coach. And if I haven't had a chance to meet you yet, basically what I do is I work with people one-on-one or in groups with lifestyle change in all areas, from food to movement, sleep, getting quality restorative sleep, as well as stress management techniques, and one of my personal favorites, which is joy. So today I wanted to come to you live and share with you my Costco grocery haul. Where you choose to shop, it can be a really big deciding factor of being successful with living a healthy lifestyle. So some of my favorite stores to go to are Costco versus Sam's Club, because I feel that Costco has a lot more health conscious items, and that can also sometimes depend on what part of the country you're in. I live in the Dallas Metroplex area, so my Costco may have different items than yours does. However, there are other options, something like a Thrive Market, THRIVE. Thrive Market is kind of like the online healthy membership Costco option. So if you don't have a Costco nearby, check out thrivemarket.com and start looking on there, because a lot of these items I'm going to show you can be found on Thrive Market. And they also might be things that you could find at places like Fresh Time. I've seen that Meijer's up in Indianapolis. You guys even have, some of the products that I'm going to share with you. So sometimes it's just kind of knowing what to look for. So on this haul today, I'm just going to share with you what I brought. This is by no means my exhaustive list of what I buy at Costco. So the next time I go, I'll post another live and share with you some other items that I was out of that I needed to buy. So kind of a lot of pantry staples for me today. One of my pantry staples, and just so you know, our family tends to be more of a low-carb family. My son does have dairy and gluten issues, so those are two food groups that we just don't have a lot of in our house. But being over the age of 40, both my husband and I, we've just found that as we've gotten older, we've had to kind of shift how we eat in order to get the results that we're wanting with our health. So if you're looking to adopt a lower carb lifestyle, these are some great products that I'm going to share with you. And if you're just kind of learning to, change out some products too and swap out, these will also be good products for you to look into. So my first is the almond flour from Costco. And the reason why I like this one is, first of all, the price point is really good. It's a little over $11 for a 3-pound bag. So great price point on this, and I use these to make almond flour muffins and pancakes. If I'm gonna do like a breaded chicken tender, I'll use this powder and some coconut, maybe those two different flours to make the breading for it. So I use the almond flour in a lot of recipes. If you're kind of new to almond flour and you kind of want to check it out, you can simply Google almond flour and then type in what you want to try it on, almond flour muffins, and you can get recipes there. Another thing that I like to have in my kitchen are organic Kim parts, and I like to use these in smoothies because they're a wonderful fat source. So as we moved to eating lower carbs, we're switching to eating more fat for fuel. And so one of the ways to do that is to get your fat from nuts and seeds. You can also get your fat from oils like avocado oil, coconut oil. You can also get it from animal fats like ghee, or what you would call lard, like pork fat, duck fat. And this seed, hemp seeds, are wonderful. They've got, for 3 tablespoons, 15 grams of fat and only 1 carb. And of that carb, 1 of it's dietary fiber. So really, it's carb-free. And there's 10 grams of protein. So if you're doing a smoothie and you're not wanting to do protein powders for whatever reason, maybe they're too expensive, maybe you don't want to invest in a big can of a protein powder you may or not like, you can do a nut or a seed in your smoothie and get the fat and the protein that you need to feel full. Another fun little product that we picked up this month, because it's one of the Costco sale items. Normally these cost $10, and they're currently on sale this month for $6.69, I think. Now, I said at the beginning, we don't eat a lot of dairy, and that's true. We don't eat a lot of dairy. It's not something we consume every day. However, we like to have snacks in the house that we feel good eating. And so this is one of these snacks that we might keep in the house. We don't eat them every day, but if I'm going to be out running errands or something like that, and I know I'm going to get hungry when I'm out, I set myself up for success, and I pack road snacks with me. And sometimes I kind of have a container in my purse that just stays in there, and I'll put some of these cheese whiz in there and maybe some nuts. And looking at the back of the package, 23 little cheesy crackers has 10 grams of fat and 13 proteins. So you're actually getting the fat and the protein in this little snack. I have some clients that when they go out to Mexican food and restaurants, they know they're gonna get the fajitas because it's a lower carb option. However, they're with friends and they're sitting there eating those chips, and that can be a really tough moment where you want to do the right thing, but you also want to enjoy eating a little pre-dinner snack too. So having these little guys in your purse, or some macadamia nuts in your purse, or just taking them with you, you can get those out while you're waiting for your healthy fajitas to come. That way you don't feel like you're missing out on everything. And I think that's one of the keys to a healthy lifestyle, is to make sure that you don't feel like you're giving things up, or that you don't feel like you can't really do what you want to do. So cheese whiz are a really nice little treat. Another pantry staple that we keep all the time is the Primal Kitchen's brand mayo. And the reason why I like this mayo is because it's clean. The ingredients are avocado oil, which is a better oil for you. If you look at like the Hellmann's mayo, it's going to have hydrogenated oils, canola oil, just oils that aren't a clean fuel source for your body. They're highly processed oils. So I always tell clients, it's like your car. When you go fill your car up, y'all know what kind of gas you put in your car. And if your car is supposed to have unleaded and you decide to go ahead and put a premium grade fuel in it, your car may or may not run as well as it should, and vice versa. If you have a car that's designed for premium fuel and you put unleaded in it, over time, your car is not going to run well, your engine parts aren't going to do well. That is the same thing with your body. So what I find is a lot of my clients over the age of 40 have been eating kind of the same way their whole life, but now they're finding they're having pre-diabetes or diabetes. They're having health conditions like thyroid issues and different things, and it could be because the fuel source they're putting into their body isn't a good fuel for them. So this avocado mayo is a really good fat. If you're looking to do more fat in your diet and less carbs, then this is a great mayo and a great price. And I know over the country, you might not have this particular mayo at your Costco, but you can get this over at Meijer's in a smaller little container. Thrive Market online also has the Primal Kitchen brand. And since we're on the topic of Primal Kitchens, one of my other absolute favorites is all of their dressing lines. So Primal Kitchen has Caesar, ranch, balsamic, all of these pre-made salad dressings, and they're shelf stable. And the ingredients are pretty good on these. First ingredient's an avocado oil, so it's a better oil for you. It does have some coconut aminos in it to give it some flavor. It has a couple different gums in there, like guar gum, but they're naturally sourced and organic. Vinegars in here, garlic, sea salt. Sea salt's always a better salt for you, or Himalayan salt. Pepper, and has some eggs in it, and then nutritional yeast, lemon. So the ingredients on here are really clean. You know, if you're kind of thinking, I don't really know, is this really different than what I normally buy? Go check this out at the store. And you can find this at Meijer's by you, or maybe Costco too, and take a side-by-side of like a Hidden Valley Ranch and the Primal Kitchen Ranch and look at the difference in the ingredients. If you're trying to use fat for fuel, you have to make sure that you have a good fuel source, or you're not going to feel good eating lower carb. So while we're on the topic of fat, another one of my personal favorites is this grass-fed ghee. Why grass-fed? Grass-fed matters when it comes to cattle. It's the way their bodies were meant to live off the land and eat. So when you take cows and you feed them grains and corn and different things, their bodies don't really digest that food very well, and it also changes the quality of the product that we get from them, whether it's milk or the meat. It is not the same. So grass-fed butter, grass-fed meat is going to have a higher omega-3 ratio, which is something that a lot of people are learning about, that we eat way too many omega-6s and not nearly enough omega-3s. So if you don't want to be taking supplements, or you want to do something else naturally to increase your omega-3 intake, you can start by using grass-fed products, grass-fed meat, grass-fed ghee like this. Ghee is one of these fantastic high-heat cooking oils. So really important when you're cooking, you want to make sure that you cook the oil at the temperature or less than what they recommend, because what happens is if you heat an oil up past a certain point, and for each oil it is different, you degrade the oil. So then you're actually denaturing the properties of the oil, and your body is getting something that's not good for you. Like, it changes it. So ghee is something that can be cooked at high heat. We use this for eggs, we use this for sauteing, and we use it for roasting. It's a great flavor on this, and if you are sensitive to dairy, A lot of people find that they don't have a problem with ghee because the protein that's in dairy is not in ghee. So this might be something that you want to try. This one is huge. It's 56 ounces. We go through this in a family probably in 3 months' time. And it's a bit pricier. It's $25. But you can find smaller containers at Meijer's. Sometimes the Walmart might have it where you are. But it's just kind of knowing what to look for. Because sometimes you see things on the shelf and you really don't notice them, or you don't really know how to use them or what they are. So another shelf-stable item that we like, and I'll go ahead and keep on the fat here, is MCT oil. And that's something that's kind of been a trendier oil that's come along, and it's the most beneficial properties of coconut oil, and it's kind of like brain fuel. So coconut oil is something that I put personally in my coffee when I want to have something in my coffee. So in the morning, you know, when I'm drinking my coffee, if I feel like I need some more energy, instead of eating, sometimes I go ahead and do MCT oil and some grass-fed butter in my coffee and blend it in the Vitamix, and it tastes really, really good. Because there is fat in my coffee only, it's like this pure energy source for my brain. And I find that I just can work really well up until about 11, and that's when I feel like I need to go ahead and eat. So if you're looking at doing more low-carb lifestyle, you can play around with the timing of your meals from your last meal to the first meal of the day. You can play around with what you're doing for breakfast and kind of see what feels good for you. If you want to try MCT oil, you can just kind of play around with adding no more than a teaspoon at a time, because it can sometimes have a laxative effect. Some people call this a bulletproof coffee, but the recipes that I've seen out there call for quite a bit of fat, and if you're not used to having that much fat in your coffee, it can taste really gross. So I always say start small, so maybe do a half a teaspoon of MCT oil, a half a teaspoon of grass-fed butter, and see what you think about it. And I always recommend frothing it or putting it in a blender, because then it ends up tasting kind of like a latte. So another and my last final shelf-stable product is the Vital Proteins collagen powder. And I use this powder in my smoothies instead of using protein powder. In 2 scoops, which is a serving, you get 20 grams of collagen. Collagen is good for hair, for skin, for bones, joints, and ligaments, and teeth, and just all of those parts in our body. These are wonderful to throw in anything. So if you're doing morning oatmeal, you could throw in some collagen powder into the morning oats, and that way you're getting some protein with your carbs. If you just talk about even just not low carb, but just trying to balance your meals, this is a really handy tool because it has no flavor and it blends right into anything from drinks like coffee to soups to another way I sneak it in is muffins when I make for my kids. And then another thing that I've recently been doing is we do plant milk in our family, and I've looked at the almond milk and noticed that there's no fat in it, and there's very little protein in almond milk, like 1 gram. And if they're having cereal, I just feel like they're getting a lot of carbs all at once, and that because there's no fat and protein or fiber to really, I guess there's fiber in the cereal, but there's no fat and protein to blunt the impact of those carbs on their little bodies. And I'd find that they would get hungry, an hour after eating a bowl of cereal. And that's probably because it didn't have fat and didn't have protein. So now when I do their plant-based milk, blender is one of my go-to tools in my kitchen. I have a Vitamix. It was well worth the cost. I've had it for 5 years now, and I love it. But I'll take the plant milk that they're going to have in their cereal, and I'll throw in some of this MCT oil because it's flavorless, and they don't really know what's in there. And I would say for both kids, I probably total put like 2 tablespoons, maybe 1. And then I put in collagen powder into the milk and then blend it. And then they pour it on their milk. They might top it with some nuts or flaxseed. And then they've had a much more balanced breakfast that's going to keep them satiated and full until they have their lunch. So moving into the refrigerated freezer section of Costco, I've got just a few more items to show you today. One of them is lunch meat. We all need convenience items. I think that's one way that you can find success is just to keep some convenient items in your refrigerator. And this is one of my go-tos. I look for lunch meat that's first of all organic, and then second of all, I read the ingredients and I make sure I know what's in this. And if I don't know, Google it out. So, if you don't know what carrageenan is, get your phone out while you're shopping, type it in, see what it is, and see if you want to put it in your body or in your kids' bodies or whatnot. So reading this one, this is the Dietz & Watson brand of organic turkey breast from Costco. The ingredients are organic turkey breast, water, and then it has sea salt and vinegar, which to me, I know it's still processed, but this is a much better option. And I kind of follow the 80-20 rule in my life, maybe 85-15, where I'm not going for 100%, because for me, that's just too much pressure and that's just not realistic. So lunch meat for us, I just look for clean ingredients and organic, and I'm good. Another new favorite from Costco is Kirkland now has their own brand of guacamole. And this is what I call a treat. We don't always buy this, but I bought it this time because we're going on a trip and I would like to have some of these packed with me. The expiration date isn't until September 12th, so that gives me a lot of time to eat these. And when I look at the ingredients, there's avocados, tomatoes, salt, lime juice, onions, red onions, cilantro, and jalapeno, and garlic. I know all those ingredients, so I know this is a good product. And guacamole comes from avocados, which is a wonderful fat, but some people don't really like to just eat the avocado. So these little pre-made containers are great for on the go. You're looking at 7 grams of fat and 1 protein and two carbs total. So if I were to take this, and try to have a snack, I might add some fibrous celery or carrots, and then maybe a couple little pieces of like lunch meat or something like that for a snack. But this is a wonderful thing to get because it's clean and it has a different flavor than just eating an avocado. And then I've got 2 more things to show you. This is one of my favorites, the Atlantic cod, and it's frozen. They're individually packaged. We just made these this week and we did fish tacos with this, and this has probably been my most favorite cod yet. We used our air fryer and we dipped them in some of that avocado mayo and seasonings, and then used our air fryer to cook the fish, and it was so good. If you don't have an air fryer, you're missing out. I do have a post on my air fryer, which one I've bought and how I've used it in some recipes, but I've kind of got my 2 loves right now with the kitchen appliances, and one's my Vitamix mixer and the second one's my air fryer because it's amazing, and I found so many easy ways to make really good treats, snacks, and meals in the air fryer. So Google, you can search on the group for that if you're interested in the air fryer. My last thing I'm going to show you is convenient food. Breakfasts can be tricky because everyone's working, or when school's in session and normal, we're going out the door, and I just need things that I can warm up or reheat quickly for my kids if I can't cook them eggs or make them cereal. So I like the Jones brand chicken sausage. Now, I told you I'm not 100% perfect, and this is kind of where I've given on this a little bit. This particular one is not organic. They have the whole chicken raised without hormones. I really don't know what that means. But it does not have any sugar added to it. There's no preservatives or MSG, and there's no nitrates in it. And when I read the back, I see chicken, water, sea salt, spices, lemon peel powder, and dried parsley. I know what those ingredients are. So I feel comfortable eating this because I feel like it's the best option that I can get. This big bag was under $12, and it has, approximately 100 links in there. So that is all of my haul for today. I hope you got some tips or some new products that you're interested in trying to find at a store near you. If you have any questions about any of the products, or maybe you even just need some ideas for a swap out for something or a better brand, comment below and I'd love to help you out. If you also have any other needs that you have or videos that you would like me to create, drop a comment as well. Have a wonderful Thursday, and I look forward to coming to you live again. Bye.